What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video, and actually a movie review. And guys, it's Justice Dark Apokolips War today that I'll be talking about. And guys, don't worry, don't click away yet. I'll actually do a spoiler-free review for the first part of this video. So if you haven't seen the movie, I can pretty much tell how was the movie. Was it a good conclusion to this whole DC animated universe, or was it bad? I'll tell you guys, and then after that, you can go check out the movie, come back for the spoiler discussion I'll be having. Guys, the spoiler discussion, we go deep, alright? I have a lot to talk about. There's so much big stuff that happens in this movie. But guys, if you end up liking the video, give a big thumbs up, new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and the notification bell so you miss out on my next movie review, DC animated movie review. I know that Superman Man of Tomorrow, that's for the next animated film, so I'll review that when it comes out. I also go over DC Comics on this channel, Arrowverse shows, all kinds of DC, pretty much everything DC. Story going fast. No, the animation keeps it going fast. And guys, I'll say, the opening of this film, I'm not going to tell you guys because it's spoiler free, but the opening of this film, it feels like, okay, it's a regular Justice League adventure, whatever, okay, they're going against a villain, but they turn sideways quick, alright? It really turns sideways. First 10 minutes, it's already going down a dark route. It's a dark movie, alright? So it goes down a dark route, and after that, they get, a lot happens in the first 30 minutes, alright? So if you're not hooked in the first 10 minutes, I'll be surprised. But don't worry, if you're not hooked then, you'll be hooked in another 10 minutes. There's so much that goes on, so many characters. And if you guys seen the trailers, you already know that Constantine is our main character in this film. And he's actually a really good character in this film. He has a good, backstory. And he has a really good, story arc. And all his, Matt Ryan kills it as Constantine. You know Matt Ryan, he played him in the Constantine TV show that got canceled, unfortunately. But he did a great job there. He does a great job on Legends. Did a great job in Arrow when he made that appearance there. But he also does a great job in this animated universe, too. His Constantine City of Demons movie was great. And him here, he just plays it so well. Nobody else can play John Constantine like Matt Ryan. But guys, what also we see Raven, Superman, we saw it in the trailer. But guys, we see these different characters, they come together, and it's very cool, guys. And you see a lot of different, new stuff that's not from the comics. Which you may think, is that kind of not good? You always want to stick by the comics, because sometimes when you branch off from the comics, it get kind of not so good, because now you go on a new direction, and fans might not like it. But no, guys, the new direction, even the emotional moments are fast, are really good. There's no boring moments. And guys, there's different relationships in this film. There's one relationship that is some people may be I can't really see that, but I was kind of alright, that's kind of weird at first, but it got better as the film went on. So they make some very great choices in this film that work out very well and makes the film better in its entirety. Now guys, the conclusion to this whole film will really leave you on the edge of your seat because it's so crazy, alright? I was shocked when I saw it. Because I thought, okay, they'll be, because you guys know Darkseid's the villain of this film. If you don't know that, that's not really a spoiler because that was in the trailer. But still, he's the villain, and I thought, oh, Justice will be Darkseid, it'll be a whole war, oh, it'll be awesome, different kind of stuff, fan service here, fan service there. But no, the ending, it goes even darker, and it shows a big thing that I'll talk about in the spoiler discussion. It's such a big cliffhanger, alright? You thought it was just gonna be oh, clean ending. No, not at all. It's a big cliffhanger that suggests some big things to come in the DC animated universe. Yeah, they're saying this is the last one, but obviously there's Superman Man of Tomorrow coming out, so this is pretty much the last one of this era of the DC animated movies. Because this is pretty much categorized in, the very first movie of this era was Justice League War, and this is the sequel to it, bringing it all together. So they're doing all these different eras of movies because there's so many DC animated movies. You have to kind of put in categories oh, there's this era, the older ones, there's this era, and now coming into a new era, suggesting off this cliffhanger. But yeah, guys, overall this movie was awesome. The characters, the voiceovers are really cool. The action set pieces are great. The villain is great. There's a lot of big what the heck moments that are so cool, and there's a lot of fan service moments too. If you're a big DC fan and you just pinpoint stuff, you're oh my gosh, that's so cool. But guys, also the ending, like I said, it'll leave you shocked, and it'll leave you wanting more. So guys, overall, I'm going to give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. It's an amazing film. Probably one of the best DC animated movies I've ever seen. There's a lot of great ones, Dark Knight's Returns Part 1 and 2. There's Under Red Hood, Justice League War. There's a lot of great DC animated movies, but this one ranks high in it because it's really a conclusion to this era. Two, the cliffhanger is just so crazy. A lot of fan service, animation, voice, so everything's on point. But yeah, guys, with the spoiler-free pretty much out of the way, if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. Like, go watch it. You're gonna love it, guys. You'll really love it. But if you have seen it, let's get to my spoiler discussion of Justice League Dark. So guys, going to the spoiler discussion, let's first talk about like that start of the film. And guys, the film started out with like Zatanna, Constantine talking to each other. You see they have a relationship, which I really like that. I like that they had them be in a relationship, because I've always felt like Constantine and Zatanna should be together. Like there's points in the comic books where, oh, they get together, but then they separate. And oh, they're separate, they're not a couple, but they work so well together. And it's really cool seeing that here. And when I was watching the film, I'm like, okay, they assemble the Justice League, Constantine part of the Justice League now, pretty much the Justice League Dark, like certain members have joined the Justice League. Superman's like, hey, Apokolips and Earth are gonna go to war if we don't deal with the situation on Apokolips. We're gonna take down Darkseid. And he pretty much tells his plan that's really crazy. And Constantine's like, you sure that'll work? Flash's like, you sure that'll work? And Superman's like, yeah, it'll work. But Darkseid hears their plans. Now, I thought this was like, alright, they'll show up, they'll fight a little bit, it'll lead to something else. Not as big a deal, right? No. So what happens next is pretty much they show up and they're attacked by these new creatures. They thought they were parademons, but they're paradooms. And it's Doomsday and parademons combined. Guys, that's dope. Like, really. Like, having, like, it's one thing, parademons are pretty powerful, but no, you got Doomsdays combined to that, that makes them super powerful. And what we see next is pretty much Earth is destroyed, they lost on Apokolips. It's really like, it goes dark quick, alright? It goes from, oh, it's Justice League, yeah, it's a little like tension, a lot's going on, they may lose the planet, but no, they're gonna save the world, they're gonna beat Darkseid too. Nope, they lost, a lot of Justice League died. Yep, you see a whole like montage, Flash getting like stabbed, Wonder Woman getting her arm cut off, different heroes getting killed, Shazam, he barely gets away, Cyborg gets hooked up to like a source wall, so many dark stuff, Batman becomes a Metron, you see Superman, he gets like carved like pretty much kryptonite into him, and he gets like a Superman symbol that's in green, like kryptonite, so that was really cool. But what we shift to is pretty much Constantine's at a bar, right? And a lot of heroes are dead. We don't know what's in like this apocalyptic world, like what happened, who's left. And when we see his Constantine's drinking, he's like, man, this has not been going well. I don't know, dude. Then Raven and Superman show up, Clark Kent, and he has no powers now. He has like the kryptonite symbol. He walks in, he actually looks pretty cool, and he's like, we need your help. And what happens from there is, yeah, Constantine doesn't help him at first, but eventually he goes to help him, and they go to this one place. We've seen Etrigan, which, guys, Etrigan in this movie is awesome. I just love him. I just love how at first he's like, nah, I'm just gonna drink, no rhymes here. And then throughout the film, when they meet Damian Wayne and stuff, he's like, I like that kid. It's just hilarious. And then this fight between Wonder Woman later in the film is awesome, because you just see so much like sword fight, and it's really awesome. And Etrigan, he looks so good, alright? And how he talks and how he dies, it's very like, it sucks. I was like, man, he just died, why they just kill him? But at the same time, his like final rhyme, it ended off his like character arc very well. But guys, back to the beginning, what we see is pretty much Justice League, well, not Justice League, Clark Kent and Raven. Raven is weak, like she's very weak. Clark is like, I got no powers, all the Justice are hooked up to her. Batman is Metron, he's like the right-hand man of Darkseid now, which I thought that was pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of like references, like kind of like homages to Justice League Darkseid work from New 52 by pretty much Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok, which that was cool. I was like, this isn't like Justice League, like Darkseid War. Yeah, I forgot the name. But Justice League Darkseid War, it's not like a direct comparison, but there's certain things like Batman being Metron, different things. I'm like, oh, that was in that story. But in that story, you see Anti-Matter going against Darkseid, where in this one, it's just full-on Darkseid and a little Trigon. But what we see next, guys, is then Constantine tells that he left Zatanna, pretty much. When he was there, Zatanna was getting attacked by parademons, well, paradooms. He ran away while she got killed. And I was like, man, come on, Constantine, you're not dumb like that. Why would you do that? And he's like, I don't know why I ran. I'm like, this is better. They better kind of make a way that Constantine wasn't like kind of a coward. Like, come on. He's running at some big demons, and he's scared of a little paradooms. Like, yeah, they're pretty scary. Like, they kill some Justice League members, kill a lot of people, but still, it's Constantine. What we see next is then what happens is they go to meet up with Damian Wayne. Alright, so Raven takes him there, and we see that pretty much now Damian Wayne's with Lady Shiva. He's leading this, and he's mad at Superman. He's like, you caused this, you got a stupid plan, and it caused all of us to go to our deaths. We have Batman, my father. He's pretty much in control of, like, Darkseid has control of him, and Batman does not care. Darkseid has control of him. He's like, Lord Darkseid, what do you want? It just shows that Batman's just mind controlled. It still looks awesome. Like Batman at Metron chair, yes, that looks great. But what we see next, guys, is they come together. Then they meet up with Lois Lane. And guys, actually before that, there's one other thing that we saw. So when they're in pretty much Damian's like place and stuff, the League of Assassins and stuff, we see pretty much Nightwing, and he died. Alright, he died. He got stabbed by a Paradoom, but what Damian did was put him in a Lazarus pit and make him come back to life, but he's insane. I really like that note. Like, I was like, what happened? Is he coming a Paradoom? But once they said Lazarus pit, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But that was really cool. It was like, oh, Damian's really going into the deep end, like Batman would. Hey guys, another thing, you see Starfire, like guys, this part was like, oh my gosh, this is really getting dark. Like you see Starfire and she's like ripped in half, right? You see Kid Flat, you see all these different characters get killed. Damian and Raven barely get out. Actually, Raven gets separated from him. Damian's in the water, and yeah, it's a very like gruesome scene. But guys, also what we see is pretty much a Raven and Damian Wayne relationship. And this at first I was like, oh, it's kind of awkward because the certain scenes that they're talking in, it was like long pauses. I'm like, what the heck? Like, this was so weird. Like, if you actually try to pick up a girl, like, you would not keep that long of a pause before kissing her. So I was like, come on, Damian, you gotta work your moves. But then what happens next is eventually, as the movie goes on, I really start to like the relationship. Like, at first you're like, okay, Raven has Trigon stuck in her, and what happens is like Trigon wants to kill Damian Wayne. So she doesn't want to get with him because she's afraid that he'll kill him. But eventually they come together and they come like a relationship. And it develops more in the movie, which I'll get to like that climax of the relationship when we get to the end of the movie. But guys, as we go on, we then, our group, which is Damian Wayne, Raven, Etrigan, Constantine, and Superman, they go to meet up with Lois Lane, which Lois is still alive, and she's in this underground, all these Suicide Squad members. We see this boxing match between like Harley and Lois, which is so dope. Like, it's really cool, and Lois takes her down, and you see that Amanda Waller, she's dead, which I really like that. I was like, okay, so Harley's in charge now. So I was like, I can't really buy the idea that Amanda Waller put Harley Quinn in charge. Like, really, that was one thing in like the Suicide Squad Rebirth run, like the DC Rebirth run, that when Harley came in charge in that like arc between issue number 21 and 25, that was the arc that series didn't do so well. But when she came in charge, I was like, no, Amanda Waller would not put Harley Quinn in charge of the Suicide Squad, like never. So hearing that, oh, she's dead, Harley just took over, that makes a lot more sense. And guys, you see great interactions. You see interactions between Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, and Constantine, which is great. You see King Shark, which all he says is, I'm a shark. That's it. But it's hilarious. You see him like kill a bunch of people. It's dope. You see Cheetah. You see all these different characters. Bane. Which, guys, actually, I didn't think about this at first, but somebody brought it to my attention. Is that like Bane, right? Bane, he didn't have his voiceover. He didn't have like Tom Hardy's voice. Now, I was fine with it at first, but imagine if he had Tom Hardy's voice. That'd be so cool, right? Like, I really like that, because that's one of like the coolest parts on Harley Quinn. Which on Harley Quinn, they play like a joke, but here, they can have Tom Hardy do like a sinister voice, and he can have just a couple lines, and it's just great fan service. I really like that. But guys, as we continue, we see them all like assemble in a group, and there's 3 sections throughout the planet. And these 3 sections have like paradooms, and it's the way that they come into pretty much Earth. And Lois is like, alright, we're gonna separate. We only have enough teams to take on 2 of these things. One of the other things, we need somebody else to take that on. Constantine then goes to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is an awesome scene, guys. Swamp Thing is dope. I really like Swamp Thing. He shows up, takes down that thing, dies, but it's really cool. But we see the other groups go to take on these other 2 like places on the planet where Paradoomans show up. So their plan is to take that down, go to Apokolips, and deal with like the fallout there. But guys, what we see though is that Constantine, all these heroes, Damian's like, wow, Lois, I get why Superman, you are together. You guys are stupid. Like, these plans of yours are not so well. But Lois is like, we gotta take the chance. And Lois's plan actually ends up working. But guys, before we go to like the big action in the kind of like the climax, like not really climax, but like midway point of the movie. Like, yeah, we got through a lot of stuff, and it's only midway through the movie. That's crazy. But guys, what we also see is Lex Luthor. He's like the person on Earth that gives like resources to Darkseid, and he pretty much runs it, all the different stuff. And he's causing problems with Darkseid that's making Batman and Metron Batman looking bad. And Metron Batman is like, you gotta fix this, don't betray us. And it turns out that Lex Luthor is actually on Lois' side, and Lex Luthor is feeding Lois and Superman pretty much information about Darkseid when he'll leave, so they can go attack those two different places to take down the Paradigms. So I really like that. That was cool. And what we see is they all take him down. We see like a certain group. We see Superman get like a Lex Luthor suit, which is so dope. And there's one scene where they're just going through like the different guards of Darkseid and stuff. And you see Harley Quinn, and she's just smashing different guys' faces. Dope. Boomerang, throws boomerang, taking down different guys. It's so cool. And you see all these different characters. And guys, I'll say, there's a lot of characters that are so disposable in this movie. Like, look, Lady Shield, I was like, they're not gonna kill her off. Like, she's such a small character in this film. But no, she gets shot in the head, and it's like, oh, sorry. That's it. It's so quick. She gets killed. Literally, if you like some characters in this film, and you're going through, and you're like, oh, I like that character, and they get killed off immediately. It's like, man, come on. Like, look, they kill off characters like it's a second job. Like, it's nothing like, oh, it's a big moment, unless they're like a big character. But if you're just a supporting character, it's like, shot, you're killed, oh, zapped, electrocute, you're dead. Like, it's that quickly. And guys, what we see next is then pretty much Superman and, yeah, we see like a group of heroes. You see Raven, Damian, Superman, which Superman has his Lex Luthor suit, and also Etrigan and Constantine, which is like our main group, guys. They go to Apokolips while Lois, Lex Luthor, and different other people stick around, like Boomerang and King Shark. They stick around to fight off Paradigms and keep like the pretty much Superman, the whole group's way back to Earth safe, because they're using like transportation to get there, like teleporting. And if that gets destroyed, they're stuck on Apokolips. But guys, we see them show up, and they end up fighting off Wonder Woman. We get the awesome fight between Etrigan and Wonder Woman. That's great. We see Etrigan get killed. It was awesome. It sucked. I was like, man, don't kill off Etrigan. But at the same time, it was a good send-off to him. With like, oh, he hasn't been rhyming the entire movie, but finally he rhymes. And there's a lot of like the tone in this movie, guys. It keeps it dark most of the time, but it's a very like fast-paced. Like the momentum keeps going. I'm like, this is exciting. And yes, what we see next is that they're fighting off, and we see Mara, she died, and she's like a robot. You see different characters that are robots, and you see all the characters take him down, but then Wonder Woman then like Constantine gets his lasso, puts her around her, and causes her to like remember herself and join their side, which I thought was very interesting. Like Constantine's spells are always great, but to use the lasso of truth against Wonder Woman, like that's very smart. But we see Wonder Woman that go against her own robotic men, or robotic like heroes like Mara and all them, and Martian Manhunter and Starfire, who are just like AI now and stuff. I was thinking Brother Eye, but they didn't mention it, so I wish they kind of mentioned Brother Eye. Like that'd be a nice like nod to that like company or like character in the DC universe. Because when I think of like all those characters looking like AI and stuff, and they're robotic, I think of Future's End, the New 52 event series, where you saw Batman Beyond pretty much go back in time, because the future you see Flash get killed, pretty much AI took over all these heroes, and they're just killing off people and recruiting them to their side. Like that was a very interesting story, and I feel like they're taking some stuff from that. So they're taking cues from Justice League Darkseid War and Batman Future's End. So that's really cool. But guys, what we see is they go in, and we end up coming face to face with Darkseid and Metron Batman. And what happens here is so dope, because we see Damian, and Batman's like, oh, you're a burden, you're not a real son. I was like, okay, that's kind of me, Batman. But we see Batman get up, he starts fighting Damian, they go at all-out battle. It's really cool. But then Raven's like, I know something I have to do to pretty much take down Darkseid, and she releases Trigon. Guys, she releases Trigon. Constantine is like, I got this, I'll conceal him. But he gets out and goes into Superman. Yeah, he gets out and goes into Superman. And guys, at this point, Superman, he doesn't have his armor anymore, because he went to fight out Darkseid, but Darkseid just ripped his armor off and hit him back to the floor. But guys, what we see from here is Superman and Trigon combined, and you see, it looks so cool. You see him fight off against Darkseid. It's one of the best moments in the entire film. Like, that was the fight I was talking about in the spoiler-free section. And you see him fight out, the animation looks great, they're blasting each other, and Superman's trying to go through, but Trigon's taking control of him. And at the same time, what also happened was Batman gets back himself, because there's a part where Batman tries to kill Damian, and Darkseid's like, do it. But Batman remembers himself. He's like, no, I won't do it. Darkseid then tries to blast him like a Omega Beam, but Damian jumps in. He's pretty much almost dying. Batman holds him in his arms. He's like, no, that's my son. And then Raven's sad too, and she's pretty much like, no, Damian, because she actually loved him. They're in a relationship. And what we see is during this fight between Trigon studies, it's really cool. On Earth, you see Lois, Lex Luthor, all those like Suicide Squad members fight off like thousands of Paradooms, different characters dying at once. They're using like these kryptonite blasters. It's really cool. And they eventually, like, it's coming down to like seconds. They're all getting killed. Lois then gets like killed off. You see Lex Luthor get stabbed, and Superman then remembers himself. And pretty much what happens is the Trigon him get separated. So Trigon gets separated. Constantine puts him in like a force field type thing, which is just like a ghost. It's not really Trigon himself like all the way, but he's separated. Superman comes back to his form. He goes to fight off Darkseid. It's a full-on battle, but at the same time, this is the climax, guys. What we see is then Raven goes to Damian, and she brings him back to life. She brings him back to life. She has like the white costume, which I always remember that white costume from Teen Titans, the animated show, where she's like there, and it's the one episode where Starfire goes to the future, and you see Raven in that like white costume. That was the first time I saw her in that white costume. So to see it here brings back some memories of that awesome animated show. But what we see, guys, is that Batman's like, okay, we gotta figure out a way. He sees Lois, he goes to Cyborg, and they're like, alright, so Superman's gonna like pretty much distract Trigon, and we're gonna get out of here, right? We're gonna get out of here. They go through a boom tube. Cyborg stays around, he sticks around, he dies, and his final line is actually pretty cool as Apokolips gets blown up and he gets pushed into like somewhere else in the galaxy in the universe. But before that happens, Superman gets to the boom tube, and it turns out Trigon's released, and we have an awesome fight between Trigon and Darkseid. That's so cool. Trigon's like, new god, take me on. And it's just so dope, guys. It's really cool. But they fight off. Apokolips gets destroyed. The Justice League, they make it back to pretty much Earth. And that's when it's pretty much like all is lost. Earth is pretty much crumbling. We can't do anything about it. Batman's like, what are we going to do? Superman's like, I don't know. But that's when Constantine goes to pretty much Flash. And guys, there's actually a nice scene of not Flash, but Constantine earlier in the movie where pretty much Constantine died, right? In the climax, but Zatanna brings him back, and they both come back together. And pretty much it was all meant to, like, he was supposed to run away from Zatanna so he could make it and then save her later. So I really like that. And I like the part that, oh, he dies, goes to heaven. He's like, man, I can't freaking live a good afterlife. I gotta go back to all this chaos. But we see him make it to Earth, right? And Flash is like, man, I told Iris before all this I wouldn't do Flashpoint. And you're like, Flashpoint? Wait, what? Well, what's going on here? Well, what happens is Constantine's like, we need a new world. Everything's destroyed, the Earth's gonna crumble, all of us are gonna die soon. You have to run back in time and change this world. It may not be a great new world, like it may have like repercussions like Flashpoint, but it would be way better than this world. And Flash is like, alright, I'll do it. He starts running, you see him running, you see pretty much then, they're by like an ocean, and you see like the thing come, and it pretty much just fades them all away. I'm like, no, do not end the movie like that. And then they end the movie like that. I'm like, bruh, like they end the movie with all of them gone, and a new Flashpoint has occurred. And we're like, okay, what's the new DC universe gonna look like? I'm very interested, because there's been like theories, okay, could it be like 5G, but I really think that's just in the comics. I feel like 5G and all that stuff is in the comics. This is gonna be a whole separate thing, and this could be the thing that pretty much pushes a whole new DC animated universe like era. This is the new era that I'll be going into, and I'm very excited to see what they do. But it's a one hell of a way to end the movie, I'll say that. Awesome ending. I really thought it would just end like clean, but no, they ended with Flashpoint 2. Like that's just so cool. And I'm really excited to see, like, Superman Man of Tomorrow, the next animated film. That's gonna be more like a solo film, but I'm interested to see what's the next like DC animated film that'll pretty much be like a follow-up to this one. So that'll be really cool. I'll really like look out for that one and do a review on that one when it comes out. But yeah, guys, this is a crazy film. The voiceovers were great. Matt Ryan's was my favorite, obviously, but the characters were great. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Constantine, Etrigan, Swamp Thing, all sorts of characters. It was a big homage to different like storylines like Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark and the New 52, Justice League Apokolips War, the New 52 Futures End, all sorts of big storylines that are awesome and put into one with also original concepts like pretty much Trigon and Superman combination, Trigon versus Darkseid, Raven and Damien come in a relationship, different stuff like that elevates the movie even further. But yeah, guys, that's for Mr. Review. I already gave my score 9.5 out of 10. Tell me in the comments below how you think that ending will pretty much follow up in this whole DC animated universe. What do you think about this movie? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's good? What was your favorite moment of the movie? What do you think about the animation? List it all in the comments below. I'd like to know your theories and opinions. And yeah, guys, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up, new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and a notification bell so you miss on my next DC Comics Animated Universe review. Like, my last one was Red Sun, but now I'm doing this one. I know this is a long review. I know. But it's a lot to go over. And I love talking with you guys, discussing it. And yeah, I feel like I went over everything I thought about. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.